Live with studios in Midland and Odessa, you're watching CBS7 First Alert News at 9 on the CW West Texas.
A group of future Midland ISD teachers signed on to join a teaching apprenticeship program today. We'll have more on this new learning initiative coming up in your education news here at 9 o'clock. Good evening and thanks for joining us here for CBS 7 News at 9 on the CW. And thanks to those of you joining us live on our CBS 7 YouTube page. I'm Jay Hendricks. We start tonight with new details on the ongoing tension between West Odessans and the Ector County Utility District. We brought you stories about the district, several controversies and accusations of violating various open meetings, local government, and water codes. That's why residents asked the Commissioner's Court for help, but today that group of disappointed West Odessans were told that the court cannot step in. The commissioners referenced a Texas local government code that says the court can only remove a director of a special district for misconduct if they were appointed by the court. None of the current ECUD board members were appointed by commissioners. Residents pushed back, disagreeing with that interpretation of the code. Many in attendance said they have spent considerable time looking for answers.
Every one of your complaints are valid. I know that there are concerns, and we have concerns. I don't know what attorneys y'all have talked to before, but we have been told that we have no authority whatsoever in removing board members from this entity. It is a separate entity.
One speaker, John Kelly, said he is losing hope that the board will be regulated and that more West Odessans will be able to get water. Another, Patty Kapoff, added that this isn't over. The Commissioner's Court will ask the Attorney General to weigh in on a potential oversight. Today, residents asked that the court request an in-person visit from those state officials.
Things they told us for us to do is way long-term, and we feel like it's a slap in the face for all the work we've done.
There is a huge community in West Odessa that is very unhappy, and we will come together and we will figure out how to get this addressed.
Thousands of West Odessans are without water, without clear rules and regulations. Those residents wonder when their water issues will be solved. Here at CBS 7, we will continue to bring you updates on this story. Midland County leaders discussed the funding of a proposed new jail today. Midland County commissioners agreed that a new jail is needed. However, they couldn't agree on how it should be paid off. Currently, the price tag of that new jail sits at around $170 million. With such a high cost, the commissioners agreed that they want to get the public's opinion on whether they want to go through a bond election or a certificate of obligation. The project started back in 2018 as an idea, but the longer the county waits, the higher the cost goes.
The way that the facility works currently, it does not have the needs of what we need in 2023. There's a lot of areas that need to be redone. You know, a lot of times it costs more to fix things than actually do them new. So we know that we've got to go down that route, building a new jail.
Commissioner Sanchez says one of the reasons they pitched a certificate of obligation is because Midland County has one of the lowest tax rates in the state, but the commissioners have mixed opinions on the location of the jail and how it should be funded.
Where the current location is of the jail, the folks around there already know that. It's been there forever. So I can't see why we would need to move it.
Although Summers believes the current facility could be renovated or expanded, some of the other commissioners believe that this is something that needs to be done now before the price tag becomes too much for the county. A final decision could be made on where the funding will come from for the new jail at the next Commissioners Court meeting, which is set for December the 19th. Two teens were arrested today and are facing a long list of charges following a hit and run. According to the Odessa Police Department, Ector County officials attempted to stop a GMC Canyon for reckless driving and watched a person in the car throw a firearm out the window. Shortly after this, the GMC hit another car and two teenage boys exited the GMC before running from the scene. An off-duty officer chased the boys while several other OPD officers set up a perimeter. Later, a 16-year-old unnamed boy hiding in a backyard in the 1700 block of Emerald and a 17-year-old, Jonathan Marquez, was found on the west side of the Bonham Junior High School in the parking lot. The 16-year-old was arrested for evading in a motor vehicle, leaving the scene of an accident, possession of marijuana, and possession of a dangerous drug. Also, for unlawfully carrying of a weapon, Marquez was arrested for public intoxication. In Martin County, Sheriff Brad Ingram says that they have cleared the case of a criminal mischief for damaging agricultural equipment. Sheriff Ingram tells CBS7 that 3 juveniles were arrested for causing damage over $150,000 and under $300,000 for 2 John Deere tractors we first told you about on Friday that were crashed into one another. The Martin County Juvenile Probation has accepted the cases. No names will be released because of their ages, and the Sheriff's Office wants to thank all who contacted and helped them in this case. Midland hosting a CO2 conference at the Bush Convention Center. It brought in oil and gas industry experts all together. In fact, the event focuses on CO2 flooding, carbon capture, and reducing CO2 emissions. It's a collaborative effort to talk about solutions and advances in technology as well.
So the idea that you take these experiences, this expertise, this geology here, and couple it with technology and put all that to work, and you get added production from mature fields, you get retained and sequestered CO2 from industrial sources, and you get a lot of camps that get the benefit of all this work at the same time.
He went on to say carbon capture utilization and storage adds value to the region. The program has been a part of West Texas for 29 years as a way to bring environmentalists and energy experts together to cooperate and create innovative ideas. Basin Theater Works has announced that after 58 years, the Permian Playhouse is closing down. Its last day will be December the 31st. According to a Facebook post, years of financial troubles led to the board's decision. Basin Theater Works' current production, The Best Christmas Pageant Ever, is still scheduled to go on at the Playhouse December 8th through the 10th and December 15th through the 17th. Time now to take a look at your weather forecast. A beautiful day today. What does tomorrow look like? And how about the weekend? Lots going on. In fact, later in the week, a Christmas tree lighting in Odessa, Feast of Sharing, and also a parade. Chief Meteorologist Tom Teever-Teller joins us now to let us know what we can expect.
Well, it does look like Starbright Village. Things are going to be on the mild side, but as we move in towards the weekend, a different story. Let's go ahead and take a look at the West Texas view of the satellite and radar. We're going to have a few high clouds in the forecast overnight tonight. That should really be about it. As we look at Pecos right now, we're seeing a quiet evening out there. Most areas are slipping down into the 40s now, except the Permian Basin. We're still hanging on to 50 plus out there, but starting to cool off quite a bit, and there's not a lot of wind to deal with. We had a north to northeast wind a little bit earlier, but things are relatively calm at the present time. So it's a tale of 2 different events here. One for the Starbright Village in Odessa opening up, and the tree lighting in Odessa. What goes along with that at McKinney Park. Milder weather's in the forecast, and here comes a strong cold front late Friday, and that's going to make for some chilly conditions for the Jingle Bell Jubilee and the Midland Parade coming up Saturday evening.
For those of you who love to look at Christmas lights, listen up. The High Sky Wing has an experience that can give you all of the Christmas you can handle. CBS7's Tyler Poglich took to the sky to get a preview of what you can expect.
It's that time of the year again when more people take their way to the roads at night to get a look at houses decorated for Christmas, just like the one you can see right here. But if you're like me and hate the traffic, getting in one of these might be the best option. If you're looking to add more holiday cheer to your night, there's another way to do it than driving around the city and dealing with traffic while looking at decorations.
It is always a thrill for us to be able to fly the airplanes and have so many people come out on holidays and enjoy looking at Midland in the winter when it really looks good.
You can choose to check out either Midland or Odessa, then just sit back and look at the area from a different perspective, 1,000 feet in the air to be precise, and without having to worry about traffic. The High Sky Wing has been doing this for 10 years, but it's not just to celebrate the Christmas spirit, it's also to keep some history alive.
Keeping the airplanes and the spirit of the people who flew them when it mattered is something that we hold very dear, and so being able to fundraise this way is just a win-win for us and I think for the people in Midland, Odessa.
To fly, it costs $75 per person for either a cabin seat or $145 for the co-pilot seat. It's a great way to spend a family evening or even a date night.
We've got hot chocolate, cookies, candy. We've got the inflatables for kids, and kids 5 and up can go for riding the airplane. And again, that's something that makes Christmas more unique for your little kids when they look out the window and see Christmas lights at their house.
If you want to take a trip across either Midland or Odessa, flights start this Friday. Reporting over Midland and Odessa for CBS7 First Alert News, I'm Tyler Poglich.
Holiday season events continued in the Permian Basin. Today was the annual Gingerbread Havens. Take a look. This is the one and only fundraiser for Midland Fair Havens. That's a housing program for single moms and children, teaching parenting classes and help others build life skills. 1,100 people got to decorate gingerbread houses with 2 tons of candy provided by the organization, and 1,200 people are participating in the family session. That was this afternoon. The event brought joy to the community and volunteers that make it happen.
Not only are they helping families that they'll never meet, break generational cycles and have a brighter future, but they're building something with their own family, and that means a lot to us.
The funds raised today account for half of Midland Fair Havens' annual budget. This Thursday, the city of Odessa is lighting up a Christmas tree at Starbright Village at McKinney Park, and we'll be there to show it to you. Tune in to CBS 7 News at 6 and 6:30. And then on Saturday, December 9th, the city of Midland hosting its Christmas parade. We'll bring you that live on Saturday night on KWWT My 30, starting at 6:30. We are talking education now. Midland ISD held a signing day today, but it wasn't your usual student athletes, musicians, or even nurses. It was for staff becoming teachers. MISD had nearly 40 non-teaching staff members sign on to join the Teacher Apprenticeship Program through UTPB. That program covers tuition and pays them for in-classroom work during college. By their senior year at UTPB, the students will be able to lead their own classroom, and once they graduate, the district says there is a job waiting for them within the district. Now for a look at today's top headlines, shown here in real time with real viewers at CBS7.com. You can see all of these stories and more by downloading our app or visiting our website at CBS7.com. Still ahead, Congress takes on anti-Semitism on college campuses. We have a recap on the committee hearing held earlier today. That's next here on CBS 7 News at 9 on the CW. Rising anti-Semitism on college campuses took center stage on Capitol Hill today. Several university presidents testified before the House about how they've responded to tensions that have erupted on their campuses after October 7th's terror attacks ignited a war between Hamas and Israel. Skylar Henry reports from Capitol Hill.
Presidents of several of the most prestigious universities were asked to explain an alarming outbreak of anti-Semitism on campus.
Today, each of you will have a chance to answer to and atone for the many specific instances of vitriolic, hate-filled anti-Semitism on your respective campuses.
We are deeply committed to protecting free expression, even of views that we find objectionable and outrageous and offensive.
During heated questioning by New York Republican Elise Stefanik, Harvard University professor Dr. Claudine Gay cited free expression and said the school consistently enforces its rules of conduct.
Does that speech not call for the genocide of Jews and the elimination of Israel? You testify that you understand that is the definition of intifada.
The presidents of the University of Pennsylvania and MIT also testified about anti-Semitism on their campuses. Separately, House Speaker Mike Johnson hosted Jewish college students who spoke out about what they've encountered at their schools.
I was forced to leave my study group for my doctoral exams halfway through the semester because my group members told me that the people at the Nova Music Festival deserved to die because they were partying on stolen land.
At NYU, I hear calls to gas the Jews, and I am told that Hitler was right.
I, along with most of campus, sought refuge in our rooms. As classmates and professors chanted proudly for the genocide of Jews while igniting smoke bombs and defacing school property.
Penn and Harvard are among a growing list of schools that also include Columbia and Cornell, now under investigation by the Department of Education over incidents of alleged discrimination. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
Other schools the Department of Education is investigating include Wellesley College in Massachusetts, Lafayette College in Pennsylvania, and Cooper Union in New York City.
Well, a big change coming up in our forecast with a strong cold front. We'll talk about when it's going to impact West Texas coming up next.
Now, from the CBS7 First Alert Weather Center, here's Chief Meteorologist Tom Tiefertiller.
Well, we have Starbright Village opening up this Thursday, and it looks like the weather is going to be a little bit on a mild streak. Taking a peek over towards Starbright Village, a little preview here, seeing 51 degrees at McKinney Park right now. as they're getting all the lights set up for the big premiere coming up on Thursday. Temperatures today, they were on the mild to warm side, depending on how you look at it. Temperatures a little bit above where they should be this time of the year, and all the way up to 70 in Odessa, 73 in Presidio, 82 down towards Rio Grande Village was a warm spot this afternoon. So starting to see a little bit of some spring-like weather back in our forecast. It's all because a ridge of high pressure starting to build in across the southwest U.S., and that's going to move across West Texas here over the next couple of days. But then our attention turns to this big blob right here, looking at this developing storm system across the Pacific Northwest. Well, it's going to buckle that jet stream a little bit more. We're going to get back in a northwesterly flow, and a big cold front's going to arrive. Looks like Friday night into Saturday, and that's going to affect the Jingle Bell Jubilee Parade in Midland Saturday night. Across the state of Texas today, though, things were quiet. A few clouds across portions of South Texas and along the Texas Gulf Coast. We had some high clouds out here in West Texas. Really about it. As temperatures today across the state were pretty mild across many areas. But look at that, all the way up to 78 in Laredo, 75 in Corpus Christi. Very spring-like. Now let's take a look at those West Texas Futurecast clouds. We are going to see the high clouds hang around in the forecast overnight tonight into the morning hours, and a mix of high clouds and sun, I think, for tomorrow afternoon. So looking pretty good there, as we'll see things remain rather quiet for the rest of the week. It's going to be cold tonight, though, as we'll see temperatures slide down into the mid to upper 30s overnight tonight with just a light northeast wind. It's going to come around to the east to southeast for tomorrow. So temperatures again warming up a little bit, really close to seasonable levels, but then a bigger warm up in our forecast coming up on Thursday into Friday with some breezy conditions out of the south in our forecast. That cold front arrives late Friday, so again having an impact on the weekend with some chilly conditions in our forecast, and it looks like that opened the gate for more Canadian air to roll down into West Texas, so expecting more cold stuff for the middle to latter part of next week.
Still ahead here from UTPB basketball teams on strong starts to both of their seasons. That's coming up next here on CBS 7 News at 9 on the CW.
Time now for CBS 7 First Alert Sports.
The men's and women's basketball teams at UTPB have both begun conference play and both play at home this Thursday and Saturday. It's kind of wild how similar these teams' seasons are going. Both of them have 5-2 records so far. Both teams lost their conference openers at Texas A&M International, but both Falcon squads bounced back and beat Texas A&M Kingsville. So both UTPB teams are 1-1 in Lone Star Conference play heading into this week's games.
Gotten a chance to probably watch the women more this year just with practice, the way it's worked out, and they're fun to watch. People need to come watch them. I was impressed with how well they played at Kingsville. I mean, they've got girls who can shoot it, they got girls who can put it on the deck, and they got girls who can post up, and I think we're similar too.
Those guys are competitors and they're together and they're a team, and to be able to do that with so many new players, you know, hats off to them, a lot of respect, and we're rooting for them, and our girls wanted to stay for, you know, to make sure we rooted them all into the Kingsville win.
I hope people kind of embrace this because, you know, I don't know how many years I've done this where the men's and women's team both are really have a chance to be really good. But this is one of those years where I feel like both of us got a chance to be really good. You hope people show up, you know, and stay for our game, and people are excited about basketball for sure.
Thursday's games are at 5:15 and 7:30 against Oklahoma Christian. Saturday's games are 1 and 3 p.m. against Arkansas Fort Smith. All right, before we go, is anything but your typical police chase. A couple of officers in New Jersey, a suburb of Philadelphia, had their hands full on Tuesday, and there you see it, as they tried to round up a 4-year-old pig that got loose. The officers eventually caught the pig, but it was no easy feat. The pig's name is Albert Einswine. That's his name, I'm telling you. It's unclear how he got free, but after the pig went hog wild, you could say police returned him to his owners. Again, his name is Albert Einswine.
Einswine, okay. Well, you know what's funny is that pig can take off when he needs to.
That's right. Take off and run, and then they go chase him, yeah.
I can see why it looks like a little chilly there. We're probably going to get in on that this weekend. Albert Einswine probably doesn't like that cold.
Not going to like it here, huh?
No, he's going to see things rather cold by Saturday. In the meantime, though, enjoy the warmth here next couple of afternoons.
All right. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again tonight at 10.